The job JB Bickerstaff has done might be getting a little overlooked by folks outside of Cleveland. Let's take a look. Tyronn Lue, who was the Cavs head coach when they won the championship game, now Clippers head coach when they won the championship. Now the Clippers head coach, he said if he had a vote, his vote would go to JB Bickerstaff as the NBA's coach of the year. There's good reason. I mean, nobody expected the Cavs to do well. And when you look at what this team has overcome, Sexton out for the year, Rubio out for the year, Garland missing time, Okoro's missed time, Mobley's missed time, Allen's missed time. Still, they're only a couple of games out of the top spot in the Eastern Conference. It's been impressive.
Yeah, I agree with Tyronn Lue. If I had a vote for Coach of the Year, it would also go to JB Bickerstaff. And mainly that has to do with the fact, find me the person who saw this coming with the Cavs, because I don't think that person exists. The way they have turned around so quickly after losing a franchise player in LeBron James is quite honestly remarkable. And I had the opportunity to ask Dwayne Wade about that on a conference call that TNT did a couple weeks ago in advance of their Tuesday night coverage starting back up with him. And he brought that up as well, that you think about the Bulls. Look how long it took the Bulls to recover after Michael Jordan left. It takes a long time when you lose a player of that talent caliber who is the face of the league in a lot of ways. And the way they have just built this young core, they've done it their own way. They've essentially found their own style with playing three big men a lot of the time that is out of the norm and that suits them, and other teams haven't been able to stop it. So I think given everything and now all the injuries that they're obviously having to work through, JB Bickerstaff definitely deserves to be in that competition for the pure fact of not many people saw this coming.
Yeah, and you know what? Points to Kobe Altman because he kept picking guys that were good players. You know, they didn't get the ping pong ball to fall the way they wanted. They ended up with Darius Garland. They ended up with Colin Sexton. They ended up with Isaac Okoro. And then you get Evan Mobley and you sign, you get Jared Allen, you sign Lauri Markkanen, and you put everything together. So they accumulated guys that could play, and then they figured out how to make it work.
Yeah, credit to Kobe Altman for this draft strategy of taking best available, because I think a lot of guys wouldn't have maybe courage is the right word to do that, considering they drafted, you alluded to it right there. They drafted Darius Garland the year after they drafted Colin Sexton. I think a lot of people thought they were nuts when they did that. Then they signed Jared Allen to this big extension. And what do they do in last year's draft? They take a big guy at number 3. They didn't let that stop them. They realized, and Kobe Altman realized at that time, that accumulating this talent was extremely important given what they lost, and they would figure out how all the pieces work together eventually, even if it takes some time and you got to give young players some time to adjust. And it's a strategy that has paid off, and I'm definitely curious to see if this has any effect across the rest of the league, quite honestly, and how other maybe GMs who are rebuilding themselves kind of look and approach drafts if they lose key pieces in free agency or to retirement, whatever the case may be. But I definitely think that Kobe Altman really stuck to his guns, and ultimately it paid off, and we're seeing the results of that this season.